I've kind of discovered something interesting as I've been doing this channel. That's the fact that I'm old. As I look around at other channels, it reminds me that when I was a kid, I can remember me and my brothers and my cousins, we used to gather around the radio with our little portable tape recorder to record our favorite song when it came on, because we knew we were only going to be able to listen to it maybe 3 times at the most that day. We'd do the same thing at the end of the week. We'd go sit out in the car and listen to the radio, because that's the only way we could pick up this radio station in the country. And we'd listen to I think it was Casey Kasem Top 40. That was like an event, Casey Kasem Top 40. And when people would drop an album, it was a big deal. Somebody would scramble up enough change to buy the album, and we'd have an album party. Everybody go over to their house, we'd sit around, we'd listen to the album, we'd look at the lyrics and the linear, especially stuff like the Ohio Players. They used to have fantastic albums, man. They had these little pull-outs that you'd pull out and had all these chicks on them, and little junior high boys. We were just going crazy over that. But it made me think, in today's world, would a group like Pink Floyd or Yes or Parliament or Rush, would they get any play today? And the reason I ask that is because, Yes used to put out 20-minute songs. They were album songs. They were made to sit down and listen to. Same with Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's cool now, but back in the day, wasn't a lot of people listening. They were album musicians. And I just wonder, with the chase for the algorithm, with the chase to try to, produce videos that's going to grab someone's attention so they can click and become a follower, would those groups make it today in this social media climate? Or would they just be, an extremely talented niche group somewhere? Now, like I said, I'm old. Me and my brothers used to sit around. I could name you, knew Lou Gramm was with Florida. I knew Steve Perry was Journey. I knew the real Van Halen had David Lee Roth. I knew Dennis DeYoung was with Styx. George Clinton was Parliament. Just on and on. Ronnie Isley Brothers. We knew who the singers were. We knew who the guitar and the bass player was. We knew who wrote the lyrics. We knew who produced it. Someone like Mutt Lange. I saw Mutt Lange's name. I knew, we better check this out. That's why I even found out about Shania Twain, was because I saw he was involved, and I liked his stuff with Def Leppard and some other people. And I say all that to say that I'm surprised at the way TikTok and all the other social medias operate, because it doesn't really seem like it's necessarily about the music. And I mean anyone's music. It seems like it's more just about that quick hit and that algorithm. Groups like Rush and Journey and Foreigner, especially Foreigner is a good example. Foreigner no longer has any original members in the band. They're still selling out. And the reason they're still selling out is because it's not necessarily about the people. Although the people are important, there's no voice like Lou Gramm. But the music is so pivotal to those of us that listen to that growing up. It brings back a time. And that music is so strong that even though other people are playing it now, people still want to go because they have a connection to it. And I think the closest person that we have right now to that, and people may laugh, but it's Taylor Swift. Taylor has made a connection with her fans And like I said in an earlier video, I saw her when she was like 15 years old, 14, 16 years old, at a guitar convention. And she sit there and played her little guitar in front of a room full of a bunch of guitar players and sang songs no one had even heard of, because I don't think she even had a record contract at the time. And she did it confidently. And I'm going to tell you, it takes some confidence to play your guitar in a room full of guitar players. If you've ever played guitar, you know what I'm talking about. It don't matter how good you are, there's going to be somebody somewhere that's going to be critiquing it. And throughout her career, the one thing that she has done is she's concentrated on the music, and she's concentrated on the connection, one person at a time. That's what she does. And so as a result, when she goes on tour, and she puts tickets on sale for arenas, those arenas actually sell out. Those millions of streams actually correlates to people. They're not just people that are clicking on the algorithm and connecting to you for that hot little second. And then when you go out and you see these people, live, they can't fill out, an 18,000 seat arena, even though they may have, 10 million people that are following them. But they're not necessarily following them for the music. They're following them because they saw something cool, or, they like their personality or whatever. But they're not necessarily following them because they want to listen to the music. And I don't think that is singling anybody out. I think that's just the music industry as a whole right now. I think everyone is doing it. And it's the older artists, that have been in the game for, I would say 10 years or more, maybe even 15 years, that have built up a fan base around the music that are killing it, because it's hard to make money streaming. You're going to have to make your money off of touring and merchandising and other things, because maybe LPs will come back. I hope they do. I loved LPs. But anyway, I just last night, as I was going through some of my old records, I just thought, you know what? There ain't no way Rush would be as popular today as they are now, because I don't think people would take the time to listen to them, because they weren't cool back then. I mean, if you're a Rush fan, you got made fun of. If you were a Pink Floyd fan, you got made fun of. But they're cool now, because those connections they made with people through the music has lasted. Anyway, that's enough rambling for the day. I just had that on my mind. Later.